Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel ran entirely by Dr. Pepper and Autistic Thoughts. Today, I'm showing you my Follie Warframe build. Now, before we do that, I'm going to go over what her abilities do and what the subsumed ability we've got going on here. Her first ability, simple enough, allows you to teleport to another area and gives you 4 seconds of invulnerability. Pretty nice if you don't got shield gating going on. Second ability is, genuinely, I do not have enough time in the day to go over everything that's going on here. Let me just tell you the one we're going to use for the purposes of today's video. And that is the Arc Trap. The Arc Trap is going to be the bread and butter of today's build. It's going to kill things for you. It's going to control things for you. It'll be just great. Our third ability is Giant Woman, Giant Woman. Okay, so basically what this does is when you're within its aura thing, it gives you damage reduction, and it grows as you kill enemies inside it. Also, it ink blots enemies inside it as well. I do not know what the ink blot status effect does. Somebody please inform me in the comments below. I just know it makes them blue. Why are you blue? Now, our build Archon shard wise, it would consist of 4 Violet Archon shards, but I am lacking one more Crimson Archon shard to fuse into a Violet Archon shard. But basically, if you got the Archon shards, it goes like this. 4 Violet Archon shards, 4 ability damage on enemies affected by electricity status. That goes really hard with the arc traps. And then 1 ability duration Crimson Archon shard. Very nice. And as for the mods on the Warframe itself, I am gonna level with you. Prime Sure-Footed isn't what I would personally put on this, but I just unlocked it the other day, finally reached it, so I put it on there just as a celebratory trophy. If you wanted to know, like, the best item I would put on there for, it would be, like, Power Drift for the extra ability strength and a tiny chance to resist knockdown. That's a little bit better than just Prime Sure-Footed going around, you know, all those Warframe Prime Sure-Footed peddlers, you know how that goes. Now, for our arcanes, we've got Molt Augmented. Basically, the more you kill, the more ability strength you have. And then we have Arcane Concentration for more ability duration, because while the Giant Woman gains duration for the more enemies you kill, the more duration you get, basically, we want duration for Roar, which we subsumed onto our 4. I kind of forgot to say that a second ago. Whoopsie! we got Roar going on over there, and we want duration on our Shadow Graph for the Arc Trap, so they can do damage for longer. Now, it doesn't really do anything from Force perspective. It stays at 4 seconds of invulnerability, but I generally do not care. Now, for our Aura slot, I have Infested Impotence, so the enemies are slower and hurt me less. Then we have Rolling Guard, because it kind of works well with Prime Sure-Footed, because the Fire Eximus hits you with a fire wave, like, oh no, I didn't knock over. But now, after you get hit with that, you can just roll and be A-okay for the rest of the game. You know what I'm saying? Then we've got Prime Flow for Energy Max and Equilibrium for Energy Sustained. Blind Rage, which loses us a lot of ability sufficiency, but it gives us a ton of ability strength. Then we got Augur Reach for range and Archon Stretch for range. It also gives us a little bit of energy sustain with our electricity procs, which is a nice bonus I will not turn down. And then to balance out our Blind Rage, we've got Streamline for 30% ability efficiency. Because if we didn't have this build would be unplayable. Like, look at this. 90 energy for a single Roar, 60 energy for Self-Portrait. Shit's just, it'd be unplayable without the Streamline. This Streamline is that little nail in the wall that's holding the build together. I'm gonna be real. And then finally, for a little bit of extra ability strength, we've got Intensify. Now, I'm going to explain what our 4th ability does just for the fun of it, Diet Coke on this. Basically, you tie balloons onto nearby enemies, you shoot them, you do massive damage, you shoot the balloons, they do massive damage, they fall to the floor. Not really my cup of tea, so that's why I replaced that with Roar, so the arc traps can do all the work. It's great. So, realistically, in a mission, let's just spawn some corrupted heavy gunners over here. Sure, their level's not as high as it could be. Shut up, I don't have enough time to farm mastery rank. So basically, how this will look is, pop a Roar, go over here, pop the giant woman, and then spawn 2 arc traps, and then everything dies. It's really nice. And then it's giant woman, giant woman. So basically, that's how your build goes. Now, how does this perform in an actual Steel Path mission? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Let's go take a trip over to Draco Ceres. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Now we're loading into my favorite map to do these demonstrations on, Draco Ceres. There's a few reasons I prefer to do these demonstrations on this. Fuck, I did that wrong. Anyway, there's a few reasons I prefer to do my demonstrations on this map. First of all, I could potentially get Organ Cells as I farm, which will help me make more weapons for more build videos, which is super helpful, actually. Now, the second reason is the Grineer have the technically highest armor scaling in the game, so that'll make it a lot easier to, like... Oh, what was I gonna say? It makes it easier to be like, ooh, this is big damage. See, everything's dying. And they also do a lot of damage to me, so it's like, meh. Anyway, let me just summon Giant Woman right here. All I wanna be is to stepped on by the Giant Woman. Giant Woman! Anyway, pop a few of these down and kill those enemies. Now, you may notice the enemies are colored strangely. That's because they're affected by the ink blot status effect. Now, I am gonna be real with you. I do not know what ink blot status effect does, per se, but, it makes them look funky. Anyway, in case you haven't noticed, I tried to make my frame look like Hatsune Miku. I thought it'd be funny, like, oh yes, Hatsune Miku clears the star chart. Star chart's the word. Hatsune. Oh my god, Vor's like, oh my god, is that Hatsune Miku? I cannot stand a chance. This power is beyond that of Warframes. Anyway. Let me just pop another roll real quick to scale the damage better. But as you can see, the arc traps are doing good damage. Now, Follie's kind of a funky example of a frame to do builds with. Because usually when you're running a frame, there is a best way to build the frame. Like for Kullervo, you want to build them for melee stuff and armor and all that. But with Follie, there's a couple ways you can build her. Like, you could build her for a Death Orb. For popping Death Orbs, which is another ability she's got in her Shadow Grapher. And then using Universal Fallout to spawn orbs. And then there's a build you can do with her to spawn keys for, what's it called? Disruption missions. You can just, like, instantly spawn those keys. So Follie has a lot of versatility about it. Follie has a ton of versatility about it. And I really like that about her. Now, in case you're wondering the weapons I brought with me, just in case I have to get up close and personal and all that shenanigans, I have my Kodomotivore. It's got a puncture build for all that crit damage with that one specific, what's the name? Arcane? I don't know why the word arcane is so hard for me to remember today, it just is. But we have the puncture build on that. Then we have a basic Breton Prime with the Incarnate on it. And then we have a Leto Vandal I'm leveling to do a video on. But before I can even do a video on the Leto Vandal, I'm gonna have to farm myself a Incarnate adapter. But one of these days I'm gonna get a Leto Vandal build out for you all. Like and comment if you want to see that, or if you want a different build, comment what build you want to see. Because I do need suggestions. I thrive off your comments and suggestions. Feed me, Seymour. Feed me. Also, I'm starting to make, like, oh, Malice is here. Oh, that's gonna be funny. That's gonna be funny. Hi, Malice. How you doing? Hi, Malice. Hi, Malice. Get electrocuted, nerd. Get electrocuted, nerd. Get electrocuted, nerd. Alright, fine. I'll bonk you. Pop the one, so I'm invincible for a little bit. Yeah, I really should do a Coda Motivore build one of these days. It's kinda goated. Even though Slam is dead, it's still pretty goated. Anyway, that's not gonna be today, of course, but Coda Motivore is pretty nice. Even though it no longer makes use of the Slam that going on. Now, my VTuber model is currently blocking the ability to see it. But you see this giant woman over here? Remember when I said she scales off enemies that kill within her space? It is currently above 100 seconds time in there. Like, it literally has 100 seconds of, what's the word? Time on it? I think that's the word. It's got 100 on there. I don't know if that means 100% damage reduction, though. It couldn't be 100% damage reduction. That would be stupid if it was 100% damage reduction. So, but if it does say that, because the number is changing rapidly, we got ourselves a hell of a build here. It would be a hell of a build. Now, we got past the first 5 minutes. I'm going to go pop back to my orbiter, and then we'll do my outro, okay? Now, that is the end of today's video. If you all enjoyed, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and when you're commenting, remember that I'm not Build Jesus, so remember to be kind if you want to make suggestions to improve it. Don't just go, this build is ass, and that's not constructive criticism, and that doesn't help anyone at the end of the day, alright? I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.